Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Record of the Ear, the podcast where I shout all my opinions into the void about whatever album I'm obsessed with that week because, frankly, none of my friends want to hear it. I'm your host, Ryan Lark, and this week we have a very exciting episode that I'm interested in and I promise that it's not only country and folk albums that I'm interested in, will be reviewing eventually, but for some reason right now that's all I'm listening to. But the album right now, actually, it's not an album, it's an EP. The first EP that I'm reviewing is by Mickey Guyton, an upcoming and wonderful songwriter and singer, Bridges. And this is her third EP released in 2020. It's only got 6 songs, 19 minutes long. If you guys don't know, an EP is different from an album because it's usually shorter. It's usually between 3 and 6 songs. Anything more than 6 songs or over 30 minutes is usually considered a full album CD. A little bit about this album, or EP, sorry. It has been breaking barriers, and Mickey Guyton's been breaking barriers because she is a black woman, a young black woman, which there isn't really any other female woman of color that's been breaking through the country platform, through the country genre in recent years. For some reason, it's been very male dominated, very white dominated. It kind of always has been. Honestly, I can only think of 3 black people in general who've ever been major country artists. So it's finally good to see a black woman coming out and breaking through and being part of the genre, making it more inclusive and honestly making it more interesting because I feel like the stereotype of country music is that every song sounds the same, and that tends to happen when everyone has a very similar background. Which is why I love this album so much, or EP, I keep saying album. But a little bit about the album, or EP, Jesus, is it's, again, breaking barriers not because of just that it's from someone of a unique background, but because it's such good quality and such fantastic quality. Like I said, this is her third EP. She's never released a full album, but she's got 3 singles on the album, which I think is absolutely hilarious because there's only 6 tracks and half of them are singles, which is just so funny. Especially like compared to last week when there was only one single on the entire album, Hell on Heels. But so the 3 singles are Black Like Me, What Are You Gonna Tell Her, and Heaven Down Here. Black Like Me has been nominated for Best Country Solo Performance at the Grammy, which is also the first time a black female solo artist is nominated to receive a country Grammy, which again is absolutely insane. That's literally never happened before. Who knows if she'll get it? I was thinking about doing a Grammy episode, actually. Maybe I'll get into that later on. They had to push it back this year because of COVID and everything, but maybe I'll do my own, like, my predictions, who I think I should win. I think that'd be fun. But in addition to all those stats and awards, just about her a little bit, she is also the first black woman to ever perform solo at the ACM Awards. Again, breaking boundaries. Very insane. I'm sure she's very proud to be that person. Also probably annoyed that that's never happened before, but still a great honor to be the first black woman to be breaking through these barriers. Now, before I get into the album, I just wanted to remind you to go ahead and take a listen to the songs on the EP, or if you'd like, go track by track with me, and even take a listen afterwards just to see what your thoughts are, if you listen to it differently, if you have any different views afterwards. And just feel free to let me know either in the comments of my Instagram, Record of the Ear podcast on Instagram, and or in the reviews. If you could leave a review, I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the tracks. Alright, so up first is the track Heaven Down Here, written by Mickey Guyton, Gordy Sampson, Josh Keir, and Hillary Lindsay. It's a song about someone finally breaking down, asking God to help the world because everything she sees is terrible, everything's falling apart, and she just lost hope, and they need something more for an intervention, needing something to change quickly because kind of in that rock bottom despair, needing more help type feeling that I think everyone can relate to. I think the reason this song works so well, it was extremely pertinent and came out at such a critical time. Came out in the fall of 2020, and as everyone is aware, 2020 was quite a difficult year, particularly for Black people. So this song, with the pandemic, with everything going on racially, it's just such an incredible song. I mean, I don't think it even none of these songs charted, which is kind of crazy, although not surprising for the country genre. Not supporting a woman, not supporting a Black woman, not exactly crazy that didn't happen. But I think it was the reason it was so enjoyable when it came out is because it was almost like that anthem that everyone wanted or everyone needed to keep getting through the rest of the year, and so we can all relate to each other, because that's something everyone probably felt last year and is still feeling, because things are not even close to being over right now. At least at the time of recording this in early or late January of 2021. The songwriting, I think, is definitely the stronger suit of this track. It's not the most unique vocal stylings, recording. It does have that same country feel, anthem that you probably have heard before, but I think the timing, which might not be fair to give that credit, because she probably didn't plan on everything happening and releasing this at the time that it is, or maybe she did, I don't know. But I think because of the timing and because of the songwriting and just the message, that's not necessarily unique, but still well written. I would definitely give it a 7 for songwriting and probably 5 for recording, just because, again, it's not the most innovative, unique sound that I've heard. The second track on the album is called Bridges, the title track, and it was written by Mickey Guyton, Karen Kozowski, and Victoria Banks and Emma Lee. The song is about making amends, finding common ground with each other, dissipating hostility despite fear, trying to come together, building bridges, as she says. It really flows nicely from the previous song. It's kind of that logical next step of, oh, I wish there was like someone to help the world. So the world needs help right now, and then the bridges is the answer to that, where it's like, okay, let's like come together and start building a better world by having less fear, being kinder to each other, and the whole message of that, which is coming through the album. It's a really nice, beautifully written song. Very lovely vocals on it. Features her kind of high notes and how well she can sing. She has a very melodic, smooth tone that I really enjoy in this song. That this song, you can tell she just loves this song and like has a lot of emotion and just feeling that she puts into this, which is so lovely. I really like the gospel feel that you get from this track. There's kind of also a common thread through this whole EP that there's like gospel undertones and religious undertones in it. But the great use of the background choir to emphasize things really gives it a lovely religious, not that I'm very religious or tend to like that thing, but it really works here very well, and I really like it. So I would definitely give it, especially the songwriting is good here, I'd give it probably a 7.5 for songwriting, and probably a 7.5 as well for recording. The third track on the album is called What Are You Gonna Tell Her, written by Mickey Guyton, Karen Kozowski, Victoria Banks, and Emma Lee. It's about losing innocence, learning the ugly realities of the world, the ugly realities of being a woman specifically, and kind of repeats that mantra of when are you gonna tell the child that the world won't let them do or be anything they want, like everyone always says growing up. It kind of goes through a lot of specific traumas that unfortunately a lot of women have to go through. It is I think so beautifully written, and B, her vocals are excellent, like absolutely superb. not that she's doing big wails and whatever, or vocal runs like that, but just the emotion that you viscerally feel when you listen to this song, because you know it's coming from a place of personal experience. It's a very stripped down song with just her and the piano singing. I don't know if it's her playing piano or not, but her vocals, she's got this shakiness in her voice at very pivotal moments where it sounds like she's singing through her tears. It just draws out so much emotion and is so effective at portraying and lifting up the words of the song that, I mean, absolutely incredible, moving, powerful song. And what a unique, specific message that not everyone can relate to, but it's still a song that even if you can't relate to it personally, you know it and you understand it. And it's maybe I don't have a favorite track on this album because this is just absolutely incredible song. Every time I listen to it, I'm just like gut wrenching, like, Jesus, oh my God, like what an incredible song that she wrote and that, well, multiple people wrote, but I just love it. It's a fantastic song. As you can tell. So that I would give definitely, honestly, probably a 9 for recording. I'll give it 9 for recording and 8.5 for writing. No, I'm going to go ahead and give it 9 for both because I think it's an absolutely incredible song and deserves all the accolades and attention and everything for that song specifically. The fourth track on the album is called Rose, written by Mickey Guyton, Victoria Banks, and Karen Kozowski. It's just a fun, feel-good song about drinking rosé, obviously. I don't understand why this song is on the album. Really, it just does not fit at all. It doesn't make sense to me. Probably should have just been a standalone single or on a different EP or album or something. Again, the message of, oh, let's just have fun and drink. Like, I'm going to be drinking rosé all day. Ha ha ha. Again, doesn't make sense with any of the other messages of the songs, which are pretty heavy and pretty serious. Maybe she wanted this on the EP because of it adds like some levity to it. But again, I just don't think that makes any sense. I would have edited it out, taken it out, put it on something else. It's an EP. You don't need that many tracks on the finished product. So I don't know. Very weird for me, at least. But it's not a bad song by any means. It just doesn't make sense when I'm looking at the continuity of the EP. But yeah, I mean, again, it's nothing special. The songwriting is fun, kind of bland. I don't love drinking songs unless it's like something just outlandish and funny. But for that reason, I'd probably give it a 5 for writing and recording. Again, the vocals aren't anything crazy. It's just like a fun, feel-good song, like I said. But yeah. The fifth song on the album is called Saul, written by Mickey Guyton, Jesse Frazier, Carly Barlow, and Stephen Lee Olson. It's about a homewrecker looking for married men to buy her stuff, going to the bar, quote-unquote tricking men and using them, and then turning them loose because she's done with them. I don't love the message personally. I think that's kind of it's a little bit of a misogynistic message, I want to say. Maybe that's not the right word, but I don't know. It seems very female hating when and blaming the woman as opposed to being like the guy who was married slept with her. It's not her fault. He's the one that needs to be mindful of that. Not that it's okay for the woman to be doing that, but it's just very weird take that I don't really love, especially nowadays as someone who is, quote, I don't like the word woke, but that's what only word that coming to mind right now, but quote woke as Mickey Guyton, to write and sing a song like that. I was just a little like, oh, a little off color, but it's still a good song. I think it's a real fun, it's got a real fun feel, kind of bossa nova. It's just a fun song. It's written very well. gives you almost the same feel as Carrie Underwood's. What is that song called? Before He Cheats. Gives you a little bit of reminder of that, reminiscent of that a little bit, but in a different way. Again, it's fun, but I wouldn't say it's like an exceptional recording. It does feature vocals pretty well, so for that reason, I'll probably give it a, I don't know, 7 for recording and then 6.5 for writing. I did say this was like my favorite song on the album, or at least I previously thought so. I think probably What Are You Gonna Tell Her is my new favorite, but yeah, I mean Salt's it's just like what I would want to listen to at a club or something like that at a bar. And if I was like mad at someone, I would be like, "Oh yeah, that's a good song. Let's put that on," and like cathartic almost. So maybe that's a good way of looking at it. Maybe she was burned by someone, and this is her way of writing it out, her catharsis. The final track is Black Like Me, written by Mickey Guyton, Nathan Chapman, Fraser Churchill, and Emma Davidson Dillon. As you could probably predict, it's about the struggle of being a black person in a white-dominated world. Talks about the reality of living a harder life because of it, although she's still very proud to be black. I think it's a great way to end the EP. Ends on a kind of a positive note, but still a reminder that there are the struggles and they're still here and they're still going to be here for a while, but hopeful that they will get better eventually and slowly. But I think this is probably this track where she feels the most free and hopeful. Obviously, that's what she's trying to portray. But she's got some really fun vocal runs, particularly in the bridge and the last chorus. It's just she's obviously got a great vocal range and a great voice, and this is really showcasing her vocal abilities and doing some great gymnastics with it. It's just really fun to listen to because you can tell she's just having fun singing it. Yeah, it's just really great. And I mean the lyrics aren't anything insane, nothing that I would be like, oh my gosh, this is like such incredible songwriting, but it's just a very true and straightforward message, which I think is very effective, particularly on this EP, which has that common thread through it. And I think it works really well, like I said. So for that reason, I would probably give it a 7 for writing, and yeah, I'll go ahead and give it an 8 for recording as for that. Overall, I really enjoy this EP. I think this is probably her best work, her third EP. I'm looking forward to a future album that she releases, hopefully in the coming years soon, because she is getting so much attention. I'm sure she'll have more freedom to release it and get it out there. But some critiques that I have, obviously, like I said, the only really one I have is just delete Rose and put it as a standalone single or something, because it just doesn't fit. All 5 other tracks fit pretty well here, even in the order that they're in. I think they go really well and really nicely. Starting with Heaven Down Here was a great choice, asking for God for help, and then leading into those issues that she really talks about and breaks down in songs like Salt and What Are You Gonna Tell Her, and ending with Black Like Me, like I said previously, is just a great way to finish out the whole compilation and finished product. I think having those in order works really well and tells a great story about being a black female and growing up in America. But obviously, it has a lot of subtle gospel feels, religious undertones are a common theme here. But I assume she's a religious woman, and it works really well. It's very true to her. Yeah, I just really enjoy it, and it works very well. The gospel feel is mixed in with the country. It works very well for her. Yeah. So for overall the album continuity, I would have given it a lot higher score had Rose probably not been on there, but because of that I have to like knock it down a few pegs and probably just give it a 6, which I think is really sad because without it, I would have given a lot higher score, probably like an 8 or 9. But so then for songwriting on average, it was a 7, and for recording, it was a 6.9, and that averages out to 19.9. We can just give it an even 20, which unfortunately does not beat the front runner of Jolene by Dolly Parton. Not that I expected it to, but yeah, I would definitely encourage you all to go out and listen to it. It's a great EP. I wouldn't skip Rose by any means, but if you didn't listen to it, I wouldn't be mad at you. Feel free to let me know all your comments and opinions on what I've said, what you think, anything that I missed. Like I've said before, you can reach out on Instagram or leave a comment in a review. I always read those. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you all next week. Bye.